In the first episode of Cedar Cove, my brand new amusement park got its park entrance and car park. I loved how the entrance looked, but something was definitely missing. Welcome to episode 2, where it's time for the park's first coaster. Welcome to Cedar Cove episode 2. I have been so unbelievably excited to release this episode for the longest time because this park is getting its first coaster. Look how bare it looks. This will not last long. Basically the entire front section of this park is going to be completely changed after this update, and I'm so looking forward to showing you all what this incredible creator has done for this park. But as you can see, this is where we left off episode 1. Kind of got most of the front area complete, at least sort of figured out anyway. Got a couple of signs for guest services and toilets there, and the rest of that building needs completing. But as for the actual area, the entrance is looking quite bare. So I gave the creator this plot of land and said, I want a really big entrance statement coaster. That was it. That was all I said. Well, there was a couple of other things. I wanted the coaster to go out over the entrance. Then I gave them this little plot here that I said it needs to turn around in. Go back over the entrance. And then that was about it. Oh, and there's this plot over in the car park as well that I said I wanted some sort of interaction with, whatever that coaster at Six Flags Over Georgia is. And that was the brief. That was it. Nice and simple. Pretty much exactly the same brief as I've given for the Cedar Cove coaster competition too, which this episode will be incredibly helpful for you to work out basically what I'm asking for in that competition. So, without further ado, let me introduce you to Cedar Cove's first coaster. You're gonna love this. And here we are at the entrance of Cedar Cove, and you can just see it poking through the trees. I am unbelievably happy with this coaster. It's genuinely fantastic, and just look at it. It's got such a presence already. I'm completely obsessed with it. It looks insane. The creator for this week's coaster is the one and only Mr. Antonio. I knew I could rely on Antonio to create an incredible coaster, but I'll be honest, this is blowing me away. Like, the standard of Antonio's work is already mental, but like, this is just something else. This coaster is unbelievably realistic. You can see how graceful it is. The profiling is impeccable, and it's just beyond anything of what I could have asked for. It's mad. It's the most perfect fitting, what is my camera doing? It's the most perfect fitting coaster for Cedar Cove's first coaster and for the entrance to this insane, crazy park. And look at it. I'm just blown away by it. This is the first time I've really looked at it from people view level. And it just looks mad. Look at it. There's track everywhere. And when I put a couple of photos out for members, there was a couple of comments saying, is this all the same ride? It is. This is just one coaster, and it does beat the length and inversion record for a B&M wing coaster, which is just crazy. It's absolutely massive. I love how it comes out there over the road into that little landscape patch that I mentioned in the beginning. It's just so graceful. I love the way wing coasters just look when they're going around anyway, but this one is it's something special. I think that might be my favourite view of it, or, I mean, that's also a great view too. Just look at it, it looks so good. I love the big entrance, keyhole things as well, very reminiscent of Gatekeeper at Cedar Point. As most of this park is inspired by Cedar Point, I did think it would be quite fitting to have those, and this is the main view the guests would get in coming from the car park. I've added a couple bits more to the entrance building as well. You can just see it over the top. So we've got a toilet that's been added and a guest services unit. There's a couple of nice details and stuff in there. Similar sort of stuff to the other side where you can buy your tickets. A little bit more views of the coaster, and then I've added those solar shading parts on top. Oh, look at the loop. So you've got a bit of cover when you're in the line waiting for that. The entrance kind of like canopy has had a little bit of an upgrade as well. I think the coaster's coming. Yeah. I've added some like LED strips and stuff underneath, but oh, look at that turn. The profiling is immaculate. That would get you so excited for your day, just turning up to this park and seeing that right above you. And then on this side I've added tickets and stuff, but obviously the main part is the coaster flying around overhead. See it zooming around. Oh, it's so cool. I just love it. It's perfect. Exactly what I asked for. The custom supports are fantastic as well, but we will look at the coaster in more detail, I promise. We have rentals over there for like your wheelchairs and pushchairs and everything. Your ticket station over here, and then then the coaster. Look how big it looks compared to the entrance. The entrance looks tiny now. Oh, it's crazy. It's the most perfect entrance coaster though, isn't it? I just love the way it looks. And I'm going to be tweaking the park logo a little bit later in the episode as well, because I did have some comments that it looked a little bit boring, and I do agree. So I'll be going back and adding a couple of bits to that. And then that is the view you get as you come underneath the entrance. Turn to the left. Look at it, it's crazy. It feels huge. I know it is, but like seeing it from people level, it's just gigantic, this coaster. Oh wow. It's so graceful, and you've got this turnaround section down here, which I will come to later because I've actually added a little building down there that you can see. Got our solar and wind farm, should I say, in the back there. Oh, look at it, it's so good. The profiling is perfect. I always struggle with B&M profiling because of how specific it is, but there's your view down to the rest of the park, which will be dramatically different over the next few episodes, I guess. And oh, that's a nice view. You get nice views pretty much everywhere of this coaster. I've noticed that. There's no bad views of this ride. It's just perfect from wherever you look at it from, especially from people view. But we'll have a quick look down here. I do want to show you this more later though, because there is like these seats are very perfectly positioned here on purpose. Oh, I'll show you it now. Wait, I put in a gift shop down here. It's called Helix Gifts, you know, because it's in the Helix. I thought that would be a perfect name for this gift shop. I'll show you the building a little bit more later because I did put quite a bit of detail into it. Oh, look at that. It's just beautiful and perfect, and I can't stop watching it go around. It's a genuinely mad ride. I'm obsessed with it. I love this shot of it going around the Helix gift shop as well. It's so cool. Even the pacing of it as well. Like you can tell, Antonio's really taken the time to consider the pacing of it and the profiling and everything. Yeah, I really like this gift shop that I made as well. It took ages, but I really wanted to get a very specific shape of it to fit in here. And yeah, it's got like a curved facade with the curved roof as well. I'll show you it from above later. And it's got this like slight, you can't really tell because there's no lights on inside at the moment. It's got this like slight recess the whole way around it, which at night that gives like a nice glow down the sides. I'm not sure why it isn't darker inside, but yeah, I'll sort that out later in the episode. Helix Gifts, I'm pretty happy with it. And then you can see the wind and solar farm over there as well that I've put in. It's just there in an effort to make this park a little bit greener and a little bit less harsh on the environment with all of this steel that we've put in. But we can forgive the steel in this case because look at it, it's crazy. Just especially when you're at this angle, you can really see the length of it. Like the lift hill is all the way in the background there. You can see it flying around over the entrance. It stretches out really far. It's like a really long out and back layout, but oh, this view, I'm so happy with it. You can see it going up the hill there. To the left of us here, we do have a guest services building. The supports ended up going right through this, but I'm completely fine with it. I love the way that it looks. It's how you have to design around things, isn't it? You have to adapt to what's going on. I don't know whether this coaster would have been built probably at the same time as this entrance building. Like if you think about how the park works, they could have had a really big redevelopment of the entrance area, and these could have come together. And then this kind of follows on from the seating areas that I made in the first episode, and you enter the plaza for Guardian. Great name. I love that the name that Antonio chose for that. It's just a perfect fit. And this whole plaza is entirely made by Antonio as well. So we'll have a quick look around. You've got pizza and soda there. A beautiful shot of the coaster. That inversion profiling is... Oh, look at it. It's fantastic. I haven't mentioned the custom trains as well that he's made. I'll show you those later. I love the floor texture. These hexagons are literally everywhere. I'm really happy with the way that they look. See it on the return stretch now. There it is. Oh, look at that. The turning rotation is just perfect. It's like constant. It's exactly what you want. And it goes into the mid-course, down into that really long like inline twist similar to the one that's on Swarm. You can see those beautiful custom trains, which we'll get onto later, but there you go. Guardian is the name for the coaster. The operations are great as well. That one's just pulling into the brake run and the next one is already off the top of the lift hill. Got that beautiful drop there, similar style to Phoenix and Swarm. Really big Immelman and then into that huge vertical loop. It is massive, that thing. The custom supports as well look brilliant, as you'll see throughout the rest of this little tour of the area. But he's added a little bit of seating as well to blend in with the seating that I did, which is great. Nice covered canopy there. And then I think we'll just take a seat here and admire the view. Look at it, it's huge. I'm so happy with this. Antonio, you must know you've done an incredible job. I mean, come on, look at it. It's so good. I love the landscape in this area as well. It fits with the entire theme and, well, not theme, style of the ride, the aesthetic of it. This is exactly what I mean by, for my Cedar Cove coaster competition. For your coaster to be in this park, it needs to be like this, really. That was a lovely view. Styled, but not themed. Like, this coaster kind of has a consistent style across it. It's really well landscaped, it's very beautifully presented, and it's realistic, but it's not themed. That's the thing that I think people have been struggling with. These rides are not themed rides, they are styled, and this is the most perfect example, which is why I said, if you're going to create a coaster for my competition, best off waiting until episode 2, so you can really see what the vibe of this park's going to be, and especially the style of your coaster. Like, you could have started making your coaster already. We've had a lot of coasters, but the thing I'm slightly worried about is we've had quite a few submissions already as well, and some of them are very, very themed. This is what I was looking for. Something that's like really nice and stylized. I like that centerpiece there, that's cool. See the train going up the lift? Again, the operations are crazy. Yeah, so just something nice and realistic and well landscaped and styled. But like it doesn't really have to be styled if you don't want it to. It could just be nice and plain and simple and well landscaped. Think of the coasters in Cedar Point and quite a lot of the more the Cedar Fair parks or the old Cedar Fair parks. I'll speed it up a bit so you can see it go over us. Mainly the Cedar Fair parks, like really nicely presented and landscaped. That is an amazing view. Got a lot of queue line as well for capacity, especially since this coaster is right near the entrance, so it's probably going to be one of the busiest on park. Nice little cut across section there for the queue on the quieter days, but it's running 3 trains, so it's going to be a capacity monster no matter how busy it is, which I love. Speaking of realism, this is a beautiful bit of realism here that Antonio has made. Oh, that's a nice shot. You've got the maintenance shed there, and I will just go up the top of these stairs so you can have a look at all of the, what do you call it? Ooh, nice station building. I love the way that this all works. You've got all of the nice maintenance area, which I can't go on there because the game doesn't let me because it's not a path, but you've got the transfer track and all the realism goodness, which is amazing to see. Seeing this in your submission would be amazing because it just makes it so much more realistic. A little green roof there as well to complement the entrance buildings. It's nice and like eco designed, which is really cool, and this is a fantastic view. But we will move on to having a look at this beautiful station too. It's so detailed. I love this, and it fits in with the style of the area really nicely too. You've got all the hexagons across the roof. It's nice and 2-tiered. Got these fans as well, and then it's dual-sided as well. I added this lift on the side here, which I'll be adding to all of the coasters in the park to make sure that they are fully wheelchair accessible. Look at those trains. They are so nice. Antonio made these trains before the February update, so it had to cover that silly bird on the front. But yeah, they look fantastic. I'm really looking forward to showing you all a POV of this absolute masterpiece of a coaster. You're going to love it. It's just insane. It's so smooth and the inversions are so expertly profiled. Enjoy. And there you go. I'm struggling for what more I can say about that. It's perfect. Like that's the only word to say. It's perfect. I love it. You've got the wheelchair lift there. Yeah, it's just amazing. We have an on-road photos unit here. I might add some images of the train on those screens depending on how the park's running, because there's a lot in this park already and we're only 2 episodes in. I just love it so much. You get so many nice little viewpoints like this throughout this styled area that you can get great views of the coast. I love the little mist effect there as well. It just looks insane. I didn't even talk about the colours of it as well. The colour palette is fantastic. It really complements the wood of the existing entrance building, and it goes really well with all the foliage as well. It's just perfect. Like, what more do you want me to say? I will, yeah, I will find it hard to top this for episode 3. I'll put it that way, but I'm just obsessed with it. It's so good. I also asked Antonio to write a little bit about his creation, and this is what he said. Knowing that the coaster would be at the entrance, my most immediate and obvious inspiration was Gatekeeper at Cedar Point, with its iconic keyhole element above the entrance. I wanted to do a similar flyover with a 0G roll and a slow barrel roll. Also, we had the idea of bringing out the coaster into the parking lot, which was a cool visual when first arriving at the park, and fits with the amusement park theme. I researched other B&M wing coasters and tried to keep the stats like height and speed as close to the real life ones, while mixing different elements. For example, the turn after the lift hill is inspired by Phoenix at Toverland, which is followed by Gatekeeper's wing over drop and Immelman. The last inversion is inspired by the inline twist found on Raptor or the Swarm. In general, the layout is more inversion focused than airtime, which is a result of the new inversion record for the B&M wing coaster at 8 when compared to the real life ones. It also casually beats the length record too. Before update 2, we still had those Falcon themed B&M trains, so I naturally had to get rid of the bird by sticking lots of rectangle basic shapes on them. With the theming, I tried to keep it simple by sticking to a hexagon motif which can be found basically everywhere. The roof of the station, the keyhole elements, the path pattern, the queue pattern, the food building, even the front of the ride sign. The station itself is inspired by Gatekeeper Station, and I wanted to make it a double-sided loading platform, with the operator's booth hovering above the track to make it more realistic. I also made my first animatronics in Planet Coaster 2 with the simple 6-bladed ceiling fans. The area leading to the coaster is open to give views of the coaster and accommodate lots of people, as this coaster is very close to the entrance. And that's all he had to say. Just having a cheeky look in this beautiful maintenance shed here. This looks fantastic. Like, who is this dude? There's just so much detail that Antonio's gone into that he really didn't need to do, but it's just added to it so much. I love it. You've done an amazing job is what I'm saying. I'm in a tree. This station as well is beautiful. Like, I love it. The like stylization of having the hexagons everywhere really works. And it just brings the whole area together, really. Like, this station is, like, so good. And then you've got this little operator cabin, again, with a guy eating a burger. And, like, because it's dual-sided as well, it just makes it that much more realistic. It's annoying we can't do that in-game, but it just shows the dedication of creators like Antonio to go to the lengths that we need to go to make it so realistic as well. And I love this splashdown bit here as well. We'll see it when the train goes past. Oh, my camera controls are not good. Look at that. Oh, it's so good. I love it. And like, you can really see from this angle as well how much space the coaster takes up. Oh, I did want to mention this as well. I removed all of the pathing here for the car park and just did it as like natural car parking, like gravel or something. That's already made the game run a lot faster, and I'm sure will be a fair bit better for the piece count as well. And you can get away with it. So this is the area that I mentioned earlier, our wind and solar farm. I added this in between Antonio building his coaster. Really like the way that looks. I've tried to do a little bit more of the backstage, but again, I don't want to get too carried away with it just purely because of piece count. You've got the main park offices there too, and then that leads you round into my gift shop, which is really cool. I really like the design of this building. It's a similar sort of thing to what I do at my actual work, so I knew what the style was that I wanted to go for, and I'm really happy with it. It did take a while. As you can see, the roof is pitched in like 2 different angles with the entire front facade being curved. It took a lot of pieces and a lot of time, but I'm really happy with the way it looks. And then this is like the overview of the... I do want to do a bit more around there, like landscaping wise, but yeah, overview of the area. This will probably be next episode's coaster, like this really big area down here. And just an overview of the rest of the park. I've added a bit more like landscaping and stuff messed around with the terrain quite a bit. I wanted to vary that to really make the park feel a lot more interesting and like real as well, instead of it just being one really big flat expanse. But yeah, I'm so happy with it. Look how amazing this coaster looks. The area around sort of like there that I've just pointed to, I will add more landscaping to blend it in. Yeah, I'm just so happy with it. Antonio, you've done an incredible job. I will do a couple more tweaks and then get back to you for the final update of this incredible episode. And this episode is now complete. I cannot express how happy I am with the way that episode 2 has turned out. This is literally the perfect coaster for this park's entrance, and the perfect first coaster for this park as well. I'm hoping this is going to set the standard for the quality that is around the rest of the park. As of what I've just been tweaking, I've added a Gelato Bros and a Gulpy unit, just a little food kind of tiny plaza thing down here that I wanted to add. And then as of the gift shop, I've done a couple of little tweaks to it, a bit more landscaping at the front, as you can see. I will do the inside of the gift shop at a later date, but that's going to be quite a big task, so I'll just do that off camera at some point. I have added, though, this little photo point here. I thought it could be quite nice. It's like a nice and out the way spot, a very Thusy spot as well, just because of the like views of the coaster you can get. Stuck a sign under there as well, you know, for marketing. But as for episode 2, it's now finished, and I'm really happy with it. I've added a couple of signs as well, just to direct guests around. Added the toilets that I said I was going to add earlier as well, because I forgot to add that. The coaster's coming. Whoa, look at it go! I love watching it go around. It's unbelievably satisfying. The profiling is just perfect. But yeah, that's it. Episode 2 is finished, and I am so happy with the way it's turned out. The next couple of episodes, I'm assuming, will all be big coasters. The actual plan for this park is quite like, I'm winging it basically. There isn't really much of a plan. Oh, it's going to come over the entrance now. It's going to look so cool. But yeah, there isn't really much of a plan for this park. I just want to stick loads of really big coasters in like this, but I'm not going to forget about the infrastructure of the park and everything. I'm going to make it all work nicely. But yeah, just, look at it. It's beautiful. Please give your feedback to Antonio in the comments. Please let him know what an incredible job he's done with this insane B&M wing coaster. I'm in love with it. It's just fantastic, and it really works for the entrance to this park. As for the next episode, it's going to be a premiere you won't want to miss. Was that too obvious? Oh well, it's going to be a coaster by a certain manufacturer. But yeah, I'm very excited to show you this coaster. The coaster's already done. I just need to make the area around it. So hopefully it won't be too much of a long wait as it has been in between episode 1 and 2. But yeah, I'm so happy to keep this park going because I'm loving it so far. It's been fantastic creating the first part of the park and then watching Antonio create this. But yes, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. I will see you in the next episode or next video, whatever you decide to watch. See you in the next one.